FutureDad 19, The Death of Customer Service. Quote, they pretend to pay us and we pretend to work. Unknown, Soviet Union. I recently tried to deposit money in my bank's savings account. It was a reasonably large amount of money, saved over several years of work. Something that in the past would have led to some minor red carpet treatment, at least to help me get it done. But what actually happened was a complete opposite. My first attempt to do it online led to the app saying, sorry, there's been a technical fault, please try again in a few minutes. So I waited a few minutes and tried again. The technical fault message popped up again. I tried a third time a few minutes later, same message, still a technical fault. So I tried to call. The automated response informed me that this number has become unavailable. If the technical fault message had informed me to call straight away, my call may have got through, but it didn't, so it didn't. First thing the next morning, I tried the app again. Same message, still a technical fault. Later that day, I went on to the online chat via the bank's website. That was a mistake. The AI chatbot suffered from acute verbal diarrhea and additionally could only give me options that were completely irrelevant to my query. So I gave up on that and called the number I was told was unavailable before. This time I got through, and for several minutes I stumbled through the tortuous, unintuitive department options while gritting my teeth to get to a human man. He revealed the reason for the technical fault was that I didn't enter a postcode from my previous foreign country address. I explained to him that it's a country which doesn't have postcodes. He then said, that's not a technical fault, that's a basic knowledge fault of the design. In other words, it's just how it is. No pledge to investigate fixing it, no empathy for the 3 hours and counting I'd wasted trying to get them to take my money. No, just a verbal shrug of the shoulders. The next day I went back to the customer service desk, now a fifth attempt to give them my money, and attempted a task on the app with the help desk lady to manually override the technical fault. It didn't work. This time there was a brand new reason. The system wouldn't accept my identity. I'd been with the bank for 29 years. I wondered aloud if it would be easier to close my whole bank account and start again. Instead, the help desk, assumed human, asked me to submit additional ID, even though I provided my unique ID and passcode to be speaking to her in the first place. I asked the reason for the multiple identity checks to transfer money to the bank, which I had been using for 29 years. I received another verbal shrug. Basically, it is what it is. This miserable, soul-sucking, anti-human clown show goes on everywhere. In every industry, in every interaction, with every crumbling, Kafkaesque customer services department. No matter if their corporate website says they're client-centric, proud to serve, or just plain old customer-focused, the competence level in fulfilling these claims has fallen off a cliff in the 2020s. Back in the 2000s, bad and broken customer service was infrequent. In the 2010s, it was occasional. Since then, in quite a short span of time, it has declined to a level so shockingly bad that when a company I pay to help me or pay to provide a service does something, anything correctly and without a fuss, it feels like a modern day miracle. Why? I can identify three main causes and one underlying root cause. 1. Diversity-related incompetence. In 2023, the Aviva CEO, Amanda Blanc, said that white men have to go through an extra stage in the recruitment process. In the same year, an inquiry found that the British RAF is discriminatory against white men. From my own corporate experience, senior managers are routinely incentivized to hire according to DEI practices. Their annual bonus is in part dependent on hiring non-white, non-male staff. Diversity-based hiring has cemented itself as a de facto standard practice in the UK and the West in general. The consequences of that are beginning to play out in very obvious, shocking ways. Any hiring practice that selects on non-skills criteria, especially immutable characteristics, produces devastating consequences, both to the competence of the employees and the credibility of any favoured groups in the organisation. You'd have to be a diversity hire to not understand that. Hating white men is not a viable business model. Sometimes it's even self-hating. John Robbins, Chief Constable of Yorkshire Police in 2025, wanted anti-white hiring to be made legal. Apparently he's tired of having to pretend to not discriminate against whites. Stockton Rush, the OceanGate CEO who died aboard his disastrous Titanic submersible, didn't want to hire a bunch of 50-year-old white guys, as he said. His submarine wreckage, with him in it, currently lies quite close to the original Titanic. 2. Decaying incentive structures. In 2024, the UK's marginal rate of income tax for £100,000 to £125,000 per year was 62%. That has a pronounced deadening effect on the ambition of A, anyone capable of earning that level or above, and B, switched on enough to realise that it is shameless theft. The latter group are ironically the ones most likely to be capable of earning that amount. It means that anyone ambitious or clever or competent just below that salary level is strongly disincentivised to try harder. So fewer and fewer people care enough to get better at what they do. Many quietly quit. Customers who have to deal with them or their teams suffer that lack of care as a downstream incompetence cascades through the organisation. 3. Isolating effect of technology. When the internet entered public consciousness at the turn of the 21st century, you could see a company's phone number on the first page of its website, usually without scrolling down. By the 2020s, to speak to an actual human in a company, you have to find the equivalent of a video game Easter egg hidden by an angry escape room designer. Corporations absolutely do not want you to call them. It is built into their operational business model that you do not call them. Think about that for a second. Companies have deliberately oriented themselves in ways to thwart your ability to report your frustrations with using their service. Modern technology has been universally abused to solve each problem by creating 10 more. Apps don't give you the answer you need. Call centres deliberately frustrate you into surrendering. The AI chatbots have supplanted malfunctioning technology with another layer of more verbally cheery malfunctioning technology. Simply put, new has become a synonym for shit. These are the three main interim causes of this broken technocracy: diversity-based incompetence, tax-related financial disincentives, and isolating anti-customer technology bloat. The underlying root cause of all three is feminism, itself the mother lode of bad ideas. I explain this in more detail in FutureDad 32, the fertility rate crash is one cause, and FutureDad 33, how and why the UK will collapse. The foundational vector of this decay is that feminism causes women, in the aggregate, to vote, or otherwise nag until there is an inflationary, censorious welfare daddy state of pretend safety over freedom, extra-cultural male invaders, and diversity gobbledygook presiding and ruling over everything. Its foreboding codename is the Longhouse. Time preference. The mass immigration part that feminism seems to love ushers in the airborne aids of high time preference. In a 53-country study of hyperbolic time preference, the developed world's ethno-cultural individualism and long-term orientation predicts a stronger tendency to wait for larger payoffs. As an example, 89% in Germany were prepared to delay gratification compared to 8% in Nigeria. If you think and do stuff quickly and impatiently, it is usually garbage. It literally is garbage, all over the streets, in cities and towns where it is prevalent. FutureDad 40, the West can only focus on secondary issues. So feminist ideology eventually imports this third world high time preference, and it infects every decision and every process. It also worsens the impact of high taxation, because short-term decisions lead to appeals for government help, and diversity virtue signalling, which employs acutely high time preference individuals and promotes them. Lastly, to round it off, it fuels race to the bottom technologizing. The abundance of apps and badly engineered and badly understood system software which doesn't work, trades quality for convenience, and isolates us all from each other. Especially when you just want to give your bank some money. In short, the combination of all of this is strangling Western society. The West took the cyanide capsule of gynocentrism, and we are in its floundering, twitching death throes. What is the answer? There is no saving the West. The only protective clothing for individuals and families is self-sufficiency. Then you can bear witness to the tearing down of all that was built by rational free men. In the meantime, you as a paying customer should withdraw your funding from these doomed corporate entities. Capitalism takes much longer to enact its invisible hand under the heavy weight of gigantic state control, but if you have read this far, you are at least patient. Counter tactics to employ. 1. Minimize technology in your life. Don't just download the app. Question whether an extra tentacle of technology is needed at all. Unplug. 2. Minimize purchases. Vote with your wallet. It is the most powerful vote of all, and in some Western countries the only genuine vote left, one you can do every day of your life. For more of this, read FutureDad 7, Superpowers Part 1, Minimalism. 3. Deal with companies who demonstrate, not claim, that they want to deal with you. Reward those who deserve it and pay with cash whenever you can. 4. Get back to nature. You don't need technology to be fulfilled. In fact, it is the very antithesis to fulfillment. Some of the most joyous experiences you will have is by simply being in nature. There's a reason it's the basis for many fond memories of childhood. FutureDad.